Hello, in this video I'm gonna teach you how to make stunning skyboxes for your games using Stable Diffusion. If you haven't used Stable Diffusion before, I'll leave the link that you need to install in the description, and a few extra scripts models that I'm using for the purpose of this video. I'm also gonna leave the link in the description. So to install everything, you just need to download from the link that I'm gonna put in the description and put on your Stable Diffusion folder. If it's a script, you need to put on the script folder, and if it's a model, you put on the model folder. So if you want, you can let me know in the comments, and I might make a new tutorial only about how to install this kind of things. I'm gonna share the links in the description, and you can install, and then you can come back and I'm gonna show you how I do it. So first thing, I'm gonna take a image as a reference. It's always good to make sure that you have the license to use that. So yeah, I'm gonna be using this one, that one of the first one I saw here. It's just as an example. Okay, great. So everything we're gonna do in the image to image tab. You can drag your reference in here. So I have a couple of different models, and it's always good for you to use different models. There's models that are specific for skyboxes and for 360 views that are really good to use. The way I usually do this is actually I first do a few passes on different models, and then I come back to this absolute reality. I'm gonna see how it looks using only absolute reality for now. For the purposes of this video too, I'm just gonna be using a low resolution version of it, just so it doesn't take that long to me. Other thing you wanna make sure is this asymmetric tiling. This is one of the scripts that I shared. You wanna make sure that it's set to active, and that's what is gonna make it tile in the x-axis. I'm gonna integrate clip. Okay, so now I'm gonna press generate. Okay, so that's good. That's already good, but that's too different from my input. But that's actually pretty good. Anyway, so if you want this to be a little closer to your input, you can decrease the denoising strength and increase the CFG scale. I'm gonna use these values and see how they look. Okay, that's closer, but there's a lot of deformation going on there. So I might decrease a little bit in the denoising strength and try again. Took it a little bit more, but now I'm gonna start adding a few more. I'm gonna actually take this off. Let's see how it looks without the text. I like this better. So yeah, this is clean, but it's a little too similar to my input. Actually, I'm gonna increase now the denoising strength, and I'm gonna be adding a few inputs here. These are very common inputs. I like to add that all the time. It's just to make sure that I have a high quality image. Oh, that's crazy. That's not what I was looking for. That's too confusion for me. And I can see that it's not tiling, I think. But anyway, we can take a look at that afterwards. And you just want to be messing around with your inputs here to make sure that you have what you want. Okay, I love this. Okay, I'm gonna save this. And I just want to make sure, I just want to test with another model to see the result we could get. Okay, so I like these two results here, and I'm gonna use this as an example. I'm gonna bring them to Photoshop. Okay, so now I have these two skyboxes here in Photoshop, and what I want to do now is I'm gonna just make sure I can see everything I want to be seen on this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use these mountings, but I'm trying to get these planets here on the other skybox to see how it looks. The first thing I'm gonna do is actually offsetting this. I'm gonna press draft, and for me it's locamento, but for you it should be offset if your Photoshop is in English. So we can see that there's a line here, but other than that it is perfect. So I'm thinking if there's not a reason, you want to make sure that they are exactly touching the borders, at least on the horizontal axis. So the way I'm gonna do this is I'm going to select this. It's good to have a little bit more space than you actually need, just to make sure that it's going to work fine. And you can write fixing, and let's see how it looks. That's good enough. What I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna paint a little bit the mask so it's even less noticeable, because right now Photoshop created this rectangle here basically. Okay, so the way I'm gonna fix this, I tried fixing this with generative fill in Photoshop, but it didn't work as well as I wanted. So I'm just gonna copy a straight line here and paste on top of my seam, and that should be fine. That should be enough. Let's see how it looks. We got rid of the seam. Now what we can do is I'm gonna merge these two together, and I'm gonna put this to where it should be, and the other one, you can select the part where your seam are, and you're gonna press generative fill, and you can write fix seamless transition, and Photoshop's gonna get rid of this for you. You can see there's a little bit of a seam going on here. That the way I would fix this, I can just add a new layer, and I'm gonna go with my brush, and I can fix this by hand. I guess the rest is pretty good, so it should be okay. I'm gonna merge everything, and I'm gonna offset this again. I'm gonna duplicate this just for the sake of it, just to make sure that I have a backup, and I'm gonna add a mask. Now I can paint the mask so I can keep my planets. And the transition, I like with this top skybox better, so I'm gonna keep that one too. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, the mountings are the only things that are not looking great. I basically just painted them together, and now I'm gonna also duplicate this one just so I can keep a backup, but I'm gonna merge them. I'm actually not gonna merge because maybe I wanna change something in the future. I'm just gonna offset them. So now I can take a look and see if there's any seam here. So now let's just offset them again and see how they look. I brought the texture to Blender and I project it into a sphere, and you can see that it looks pretty cool. So yeah, there's this kind of deformations that since you're generating this and it's not actually a picture of a 360 view, it's not gonna have this kind of deformation. So since it's a perfect round shape there, in here it's not gonna be perfect. So you can fix this kind of things in Photoshop. So the way I would do this is just fix one by one and bring it back to Blender to check if it's looking how you want it. So I hope you learned something with this tutorial. It's super useful for me. I use it all the time. So thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and see you in the next video.